Good afternoon, this is RFC Monty here again with another really short flight report. I'm mostly just experimenting with the game Wings of Duty, learning how to do voiceovers, how to record videos, and get them all from my phone onto iMovie. So in this video, I'll be going after a bomber twice. Here I've got altitude above the clouds, and I'm rolling back and forth in order to be able to spot any enemy. There's one bomber down below, and I'm trying to see if I can spot anybody else that might be protecting him. I was pretty positive by keeping track of who was entering and leaving the room that he was the only enemy, but I just wanted to make sure. At this point I wasn't sure. I don't think I knew that he was a bomber, but the way it moved slowly across the screen implied that it was a bomber. So because I knew it was a bomber, I went ahead and started my dive a little early. You really gain a lot of velocity in the dive, so there I pulled back on the throttle, and I usually hit the flaps at about 50%. My first few shots I'm pretty positive are pretty sad, so I'm aiming above there and trying to hit him a lot as I fly underneath. And then there I usually go ahead and pull up into a loop. Now here I failed to turn my flaps on to 50%, just put them on 25%, so my loop wasn't as tight as I would like for it to have been. And then when I completed my loop, he had gained a little bit of distance and I had lost sight of him. You can see him up there at the top smoking, but I didn't spot him at the time. So as I climb back up again, there I see him, and I'm going to go ahead and use my zero flaps and full speed to climb up beneath the guy. He's a bomber, so I've got the velocity advantage, and I can go ahead and take a few shots. Probably, maybe some of those hit, but not much. This guy didn't seem to be a great gunner, so I was able to go ahead and I took one or two hits, but I was able to get the kill and then climb away. Usually my instinct is to climb up high as soon as I get a kill, but I went ahead and went up. So this bomb approach was from above, dropping down behind, using my velocity to loop up in front of the bomber, and then come around for a second pass in order to finish the guy off. At this point, I am out of cannons, so all I got are my machine guns. I had made my way all the way over to Calais, and I wound up finding an enemy plane on the enemy airfields. Now I don't think it's very sporting to go and attack planes while they're on the airfield. So instead, I just decided to loop around and give him a chance. Usually my own personal policy is just me, is to give the guys a chance to climb for altitude if they want it. And I usually figure that if they have started going out over the water, then they've decided that they've got all the altitude they want. If that plane had doubled back towards the land and circled the airfield a little bit more, I would have given them more space. At this point in the room, I also had two other allies, I think. They were all coming over this direction, so there I am checking to see if my one ally from the south is within visual distance, and he wasn't. Now I'm back to the bomber, who's flying low and slow, exactly like I like. And so here I start a little bit of a dive just to get over to him. I'd rather be above him than not. And this time I'm going to try a little bit different technique and different tactic, rather than looping from behind and going in front and looping over. I was going to try a little bit of a barrel roll style lead. So here, again, dropping, going for speed. I can see that he's a bomber, so there's no need to worry about keeping speed on maximum. Pull the throttle back so I don't overdo it. Toss my flaps up to 50% and line myself up with him. I'm using gravity to pull my speed up, so there's no need to keep the throttle going, and I'm afraid I'm going to overshoot him. So raise my nose up, and now I'm just using machine guns to give as much shot as I could. Here I do have my flaps on 50, and I start my loop right away, and so I'm actually able to track the guy visually. And so we'll come up behind him in a minute. Now if he's a good pilot, he would hopefully be able to start shooting at me. This guy didn't seem to be that worried about shooting, so I tossed a few more. Got a battery warning. But here my velocity is so high that I'm going to run into him, so I do a bit of a barrel roll maneuver to slow myself down again. He rocks a little bit. I go ahead and do some lead shooting there. I don't know whether I'm getting any hits here or not. He obliges by turning into my shots. I can do a few more hits. And again, a barrel roll maneuver because I seem to have gone over too high. He's now flaming from both engines. And at this point, he bails out. So just for the fun of it, I can continue my run just to fly over top, check him out as I'm going, but that was another kill. I can see off to my left, off in the distance, there was one of my friendly planes, and over here you can see the parachutes from the pilot and the crew bailing out. So, an obliging enemy gave me 2 bomber kills. Thank you very much. See you guys next time.